I am a normie. Strangely enough, I've been fighting against being normal my entire life. And I always thought that made me unique, that made me more interesting. And I kept getting proof of that because that was the belief that I held. Like, hey, the more unique I am, the more interesting I am, the more interesting I am, the more people are going to like me. So that's why I always fought against being normal. Like most things that I've done in my life were so I'd be unique, so I wouldn't be like everyone else. That's why I almost never had normal jobs. I was always doing part time or contract work or, writing or trying to start my own business or whatever. It's like everything I did in life was to try to be different. And by the way, that's why I'm lying in bed because the average normal person is lazy. And when they get a chance, they lie in bed all day doing nothing, scrolling on their phone, watching YouTube, whatever. And it's like my entire life I fought against that because I wanted to be unique. I wanted to be original. I didn't want to be like everyone else. And even lately, the last few years, when I've challenged myself, like extreme challenges, like trying to run 100 kilometers a day, trying to walk 100 kilometers in a day, and all these things was to get me in that mindset of I'm unique. I'm not like everyone else because 99.9% of the population would not do things like this. And that made me feel special. But inevitably, I would always kind of drop back down to that normal level. And I'm like, all right, it's time to do something else again. And it's like everything I've done, including selling everything and traveling the world, was out of that sense, that desperation of wanting to be unique, wanting to be extraordinary, not wanting to be like everyone else. Because once again, I believed that if I'm unique, if I'm special, if I do all these incredible things, people are going to look at me and be like, you're so amazing. But at the end of the day, people want to be with someone normal. It's like, yeah, okay, it helps when you go on dates. You're like, hey, sold everything. I'm traveling the world. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a writer. Blah blah blah. All these things. Like it seems good, but at the end of the day, all they care about is if you're normal, if you have a job, if you can take care of them, if you're a kind person, if you're looking to build a long-term relationship, if you want to build a family, like all these normal things. At the end of the day, that's what they want. And I've always fought against that. And that's why I've never been successful. Because I realized this while having a conversation with my friend Aaron. It's like we realized the ultimate way to success is not by going away from normalcy and trying to be unique. It's by going towards normalcy to this point where you get to that center where you're so normal that you're actually unique. So it's kind of like we look at business as an example and we're like, what is different about this business? What did this business do differently than other businesses that made it successful? But that's the wrong thing. It's not that one thing they did different that made them successful. It's those 99 other things that they did exactly the same as all other businesses that made them successful. And that 1% that's different is just the messaging, just that one thing that gets people to pay attention to them long enough to realize, oh, this is a normal company that can provide what I want. So what makes a difference is not that 1% that's different. It's that 99% that's the same. And it's exactly the same for this. It's like in business, every time I'm like, ooh, what can I do differently? What can I do that's unique? What can I do to separate myself from the market? When in fact, my question should have been, what can I do to be more normal? What kind of business that I can do to fill what normal average people want? So as an example, instead of like, ooh, I help like visionary entrepreneurs grow a, like, I don't know, whatever it is, like fantastic business to transform the world. It's like, yeah, okay, that can work because you're kind of selling a dream, but you're going to have to work so hard to make it happen. And you're still going to use so many of the elements of other successful businesses. And that's what's going to make you successful. Whereas if you just took the approach of, all right, what if instead of trying to help visionary entrepreneurs change the world, I just help normal people be successful entrepreneurs? That's what people want. They want to be normal, yet be successful entrepreneurs. So they have the freedom to be normal, to do all those things that they've wanted to do because they're normal. It's like the more normal you become, the more successful you become. And by doing that, you get to that center, if you will, where it's like it is so normal that it kind of becomes abnormal and unique in a normal kind of way. It's kind of hard to explain and it kind of messes with your head. But it's like we realized that because of my friend Aaron and I were like, he was coach yesterday and he realized like at the core of everything, the thing holding him back the most is this fear of being rejected. And it's not just by people, but it's like the concept of being rejected by, for him, he's religious. So for him, it's like being rejected by God. For me, it's like I believe more, it's like I call it the universe, whatever. It's like if you're rejected by the universe and the universe is not there to support you and to help you, you're completely ostracized from everything. You've been like cast into the dark, empty void. And that is terrifying. We're like, okay, what do we need to do in order to overcome that? And my instinct was like, I need to go to the extreme of like put myself in a situation where it's either like do whatever you have to survive or literally physically die. And I was thinking like, is that the only way I can do this? And then we kind of got to the point where it's like, I realized, you know what? What scares me the most is not death. It's not being judged. What scares me the most is being normal. It's not being judged, not being unique, not being different. And the solution to that is to embrace it, is to be normal. And as I was processing that, I got to the point a couple minutes ago before I recorded the video where it's like I felt such a sense of relief and freedom of like, I don't need to try anymore. I don't need to be unique. I don't need to be special. I don't need to be extraordinary. I can just be normal. And by fully embracing that normalcy, I'm going to get everything that I've ever wanted. I am going to be able to build a successful business. I am going to be able to find someone to share my life with. I am going to be able to feel at peace with myself because I'm not constantly striving. I'm not constantly trying to capture something that's outside of me because I've accepted like, okay, all I need to do is be normal. And it just makes everything so much simpler. It's like, okay, I know myself. I'm still going to challenge myself. I'm still going to do extreme things, but I'm going to do it just because I enjoy it, just because it allows me to grow and experience more things and make life more interesting. But at the end of the day, I don't need any of it. That's why every single time I do a challenge, I get to the end of it and I get that sensation of, I'm glad I did it, but I didn't need to do it. Like I needed to do it to realize that I didn't need to do it. And that's happened multiple times and I didn't understand why. And now I'm like, this is why. Because all I need to be like successful, to be happy, to be fulfilled is to be normal. And that's why even when I accomplish amazing things like, running 50 kilometers a day or walking 58 and a half kilometers, it's like, it doesn't change anything. Like, yes, I'm proud that I did that. And I enjoyed the challenge of it. But at the end of the day, it didn't change anything because I didn't need that. I just needed to be normal, to accept myself and not have to always prove to myself and to others that I can do extreme things, that I'm different, that I'm special. It's like, it's such a weight lifted from my shoulders and it feels amazing. So yeah, the conclusion for today is I'm a normie. That is wonderful. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with being normal.